So the third problem in an image is always color. So for the sake of this, I choose this image where I have this very strong makeup. I have also very nice skin structure, so I can try to get rid of this color problem without messing the skin. First, I'm showing you a very bad way, and I'm gonna show you why it's bad. So a lot of people doing this with frequency separation. So they use a radius where they have no texture but only color, and then they have one layer with all the color stuff and one layer with all the texture stuff. And what they do, and this is, can't say it enough, is a bad way. I use another layer in between and just paint over the skin here. So I'm just doing this very quickly, and you see it's working. You can get rid of most of the, let's take a higher flow, 8%. You can get rid of a lot of this color information. Well, actually you get rid of most of the color information, and it seems like you keep the texture intact, but this is of course not true. And I'm gonna show you how the image looks like if you zoom a little bit in, and what it looks like if you zoom a little bit out in a second. So this is what a lot of people do. Okay, this was very hard one, but so they look at, I don't know, 100% and say, wow, awesome, all the texture is there, it's brilliant, and it just looks the same, but it's without color. So, but if you zoom out, you see all the problems because you lost all the middle frequencies and you just messed up the image. This always happens if you paint on the low layer or in between these two layers if you're doing frequency separation. So I would not recommend doing any color correction on frequency separation because it doesn't make any sense. Frequency separation is okay if you want to work on the texture stuff on a high frequency, but never work on the low frequency. This is not a good idea because you will always lose some information on mid or low frequencies. And what you're actually doing if you paint in between is you creating a band stop. So what is the way to deal with it? Well, you can use a layer in mode color and sample from there and paint over it. So what it does, it creates, it takes the hue and the saturation of the part where you sampled and creates it for this kind of luminosity. Luminosity stays intact. You're just working on the hue and saturation. Well, you don't get rid of the colors here, but if you do a little bit of dodge and burning, I did here. So let's see, this is the black and white, the luminosity layer here. So I did a little bit of dodge and burning. It is not perfect, it's just for the sake of this tutorial, a few minutes. And if I use the color layer now, you see it's a lot better. Of course, you need to work more on the dodge and burn thingy here. So you really need to make this on the same level of luminosity. I don't have the time now to do this, but you can. It can be a very fast job. Another solution would be to do it with curves. So there's one thing most people don't know, and this is automated curves. This is very awesome. So you go to select, go to background layer, select, and color range. So in the end, then you pick the red color, for example, go with the fuzziness as high as you want. I mean, it's not that important now. And then you create a curves layer. So now you have a mask of mostly makeup, and you click on the little icon of the curve here. And then you can choose this one, but you don't click on it, you double click on it. So, doesn't make anything. This is the effect that always happens. So, if you double click on it, stop, I'm on the layer mask, I need to be on the curves layer, double click it, and then I get the color picker here. And this asks me for the target shadow color. The target shadow color is this one, the color of the skin. Then I click OK. I don't want to save this target color, and then I click here. So what it does is like an automated layer, automated curves layer, adjustment layer, which you can use as a base for, well, work further on it. And then I will just take this and make it black, and then I use a soft brush, so low flow, like 4%, and then I zoom in and paint over this. So what's happening is the makeup magically disappears, and I keep all the variants in luminosity, in hue and saturation, but I just make it lighter. This is very, very awesome, and it's a very convenient way to use curves. If you don't know how to apply curves or how to choose the right curve, then this is a way that can help you. I recommend not to trust this all the time. Sometimes it works better, sometimes not so good, but it's always giving you an idea of how the curves may look like. So, and then you paint just over it and do it a little bit quicker, and so like this. So of course, if you want to get rid of all of this makeup, this is probably a day job. It's very well, it's not a nice job, but well, I just want to show you the tools. Sometimes you have only subtle changes to do, and so it's way better and way faster. So this is it. And so let me show you a quick before and after, and then I'm gonna show you another cool tip about color. So before, after. So you see this is a few minutes of work, and it's already better. And it doesn't matter how far you zoom in or out, you didn't change the frequencies, so keeps everything intact. Better version than the one with the frequency separation. There is another tool, and I also need to make the dodge and burn for it, because it's also luminosity based, and this is the gradient map. Gradient map is a gradient. Let me show you the gradient map. So you can use the gradient map to use to create black and white images. So all the low luminance values are mapped to black, and the bright ones to white. You can add another color here, and then you get this this look. Highlights white, midtones red, and the shadows black. Of course, you can use this to create nice skin tones, but gradient map is very hard. For me, it's very hard to create a gradient map that's really good. So I'm very happy to have this retouching toolkit from Conny Wallström. And there is one thing that's called Gradient Map Maker. And the Gradient Map Maker is a script-based calculation magic thingy that creates out of 3 points, based on the luminosity, a gradient map for you with a transparent white and black. So you can just use here a shadow and a midtone and a highlight. Of course, I'm sampling in this area, and then I click cancel, and it creates this gradient map here. So it's calculated on based on the luminance. So if I combine this with the dodge and burn I did earlier, it does a really, really good job. And then I'm inverting this and just paint over the color. The good thing on the gradient map is you don't have only one saturation and one hue. You have three: one for the highlights, one for the shadows, and one for the midtones. So whatever you do, especially on skin, I mean, this is a very strange example actually, but if you do this on skin, you can really smooth out the transition in colors. It will help you, and it's comparable to the effect that you get if you smooth out the skin and capture one. It's very, very, very nice. So gradient map, painting with color, based on a dodge and burn layer. This is the way how to deal with problems in color. It's very nice and very easy. If you have any problems with an image, with these three things, structure, luminosity, and color, you can do anything. It's awesome.